Your body is exhausted, but your mind is running a marathon. It's 2 a.m., and sleep is nowhere to be found. Instead of resting, you find yourself endlessly scrolling through old texts. You replay mundane conversations from 3 days ago, dissecting every word, every pause, and every perceived slight. From there, the brain artificially escalates these minor details. A slightly delayed reply mutates into a fractured relationship. A minor oversight at work snowballs into a career-ending catastrophe. The rest of the world is entirely quiet, yet the noise inside your head is deafening. This specific breed of anxiety completely separates you from the physical reality of your bedroom, trapping you inside a simulation of disaster. This midnight sprint is not a search for answers. It is the primary symptom of a mind that has entirely lost its steering wheel, a single thought trapped in an infinite loop.
We mistake repetitive pacing for forward momentum, assuming endless analysis brings resolution. Watch the loop accelerate, glowing red with friction. Your brain processes the exact same data, desperately seeking a new result without any new information. This false sense of productivity is the exact trap keeping you paralyzed. To break it, we have to expose the invisible psychological forces that are actually driving the loop. Overthinking begins the moment the brain encounters a vacuum of information. When the future becomes unpredictable, we instinctively experience a severe lack of control, leaving us feeling vulnerable. This branching probability tree demonstrates how the brain responds to that vulnerability. It tries to mathematically manufacture control by calculating every conceivable future variable and outcome, instantly ballooning into unmanageable complexity. This relentless calculation is driven by an ancient evolutionary survival mechanism. The brain is treating a vague social or professional uncertainty with the exact same high-alert alarm system it originally used against physical predators. By explicitly simulating emotional pain and failure in advance, the mind operates under a flawed biological logic that mapping out the exact shape of a disaster somehow prevents it. Overthinking is rarely a logical process. It is simply primal fear wearing a sophisticated mask of rational analysis to maintain a false sense of safety. That fear frequently weaponizes itself through perfectionism. The mind starts demanding a flawless, airtight outcome to guarantee that no external judgment or failure can slip through the cracks. You see this behavioral symptom play out in microscopic moments. A hand hovers over a screen, agonizing over the tone of a single message, typing it out, and then instantly deleting it to start over. This scale visualizes the mathematical trade-off happening in your brain. As the analysis side becomes weighed down with endless revisions and hypothetical scenarios, the capacity for real-world execution is left completely empty. Perfectionism acts as the ultimate psychological alibi. It provides a way to indefinitely substitute thinking for acting, guaranteeing the exact failure it was supposedly trying to prevent through total paralysis. Breaking this cycle requires a mechanical intervention. An anxiety loop thrives in the abstract, but it is highly fragile when exposed to physical, decisive action. We can see the first intervention here on the page. Taking abstract, spiraling anxieties and physically writing them down forces them into concrete, measurable terms. It strips away their perceived scale, reducing a tangled mess into a single, clean target. From there, executing just one microscopic, real-world task, sending the email, finalizing the minor decision, immediately punctures the illusion that absolute perfection is required to survive. This emptying digital timer enforces a strict cognitive circuit breaker known as the 5-minute rule. You allow your brain exactly 5 minutes to analyze the variables. When the clock runs out, the protective fear response is cut off, forcing immediate forward movement. Ultimately, finding peace requires pulling the mind out of a simulated disastrous future and forcing it to anchor fully in the present reality. This relies on radical acceptance, the conscious, deliberate acknowledgement that a lingering problem does not always possess an immediate answer tonight. Deliberate physical action actively dismantles real-world challenges.
Overthinking merely generates new imaginary ones to take their place. True control is achieved only by surrendering the desperate illusion of it. When you stop fighting the unknown, your mind stops acting as a tyrant and finally goes back to operating as a utility.